welcome to the Western Pacific Fishery Management Council's Fish Forever podcast series on sustainable fishing through effective stewardship in the U.S. Pacific Islands. In this episode, we learn about inshore and offshore fishing surveys conducted in Guam by the Division of Aquatic and Wildlife Resources. Participating in fishery surveys is one way for fishers to contribute toward the development of fishery management policies. It also plays an important role in the effective management of coral reef and open ocean fisheries.
Our department conducts the inshore fisheries, the Creel surveys 4 times a month. They're randomly chosen. We go around the island interviewing fishermen, and we ask them questions about what they caught, how long they've been fishing, what type of fishing methods they're doing, what type of bait they're using. And from this information that is gathered, we enter that into a computer, and from there we're able to get out how much fish are caught and a sort of a catch per unit effort, how much fishing was actually put into catching this certain amount of fish. And from there we are able to make management decisions from the data that we collect.
Analysis of the information from the inshore surveys eventually led to a decision to establish marine preserve areas. The types of fishing gear and how they can be used in these zones are under strict limits, and certain other activities are prohibited.
We saw a decline, a 70% decline in the amount of fish being caught around Guam. Then we also looked at the effort, or how much time was spent catching the fish. Fishermen were actually spending more time to catch the same amount of fish as it would maybe 10 years ago. So some sort of management decision had to be done. And what was decided from the data that we collected from the inshore fisheries is to establish the marine preserves.
The Division of Aquatic and Wildlife Resources also conducted what they called offshore surveys. These surveys involve talking to boat fishermen who target open ocean fish. It also includes those who spear or net reef fish from their boats.
We interview fishermen at the 3 major ports that we have: Agana Boat Basin, Aga Marine, and Mauricio Pier. And what we do is we collect data on what type of fish they catch, on participation basically, how many people are with them, catch, and also effort, how many hours they spend out there. And what that happens is with the data itself, we're able to look at trends. How much fish is caught maybe per hour 20 years ago versus now. How much fish are caught 20 years ago from now. What type of fish, how big the fish are compared with 20 years from now. And based on those trends, we're able to enact management decisions based on these changes.
Data from 20 years ago can be compared to current reports, and it's the analysis of this data that can be a valuable asset in making management decisions that will take into consideration coral reef fishery conservation.
We have data back in 1982 all the way to the present, and we consider the data 20 years ago, how fishing really was on Guam. What we notice is a lot less people fished back then, and so you would expect less of an impact on the fisheries. Nowadays you have a lot more people fishing, and so you have more people making an impact. So if you see a change, for example, in the number of fish people catch, I see a change in the types of fish people catch, or the changes in the size of the fish people catch. Then you try and enact management decisions so that your fishery, be it bottom fishing or spear fishing, doesn't go away, or these fish that you consider valuable to your culture or valuable to your eating don't change. And when they start changing, for example, less fish, smaller fish, or certain fish are gone, and then that's when we enact management decisions to try and bring back the fishery to where it was before.
The information collected by the Guam Creel survey is particularly important when setting catch limits for reef fish. Programs like this one support effective coral reef management and conservation, so we can enjoy our local fish forever. Please join us again for another Fish Forever podcast brought to you by the Western Pacific Fishery Management Council.